Our personal reality can be defined as anything we believe to be true. This means that we have the absolute ability to consciously create our lives through the vehicle of our mind by changing the way we observe things. Once the subconscious mind is trained to alter its beliefs, reality will also alter in alignment with those beliefs. The belief systems in our minds filter the information coming in from our senses and then interprets a reality that fits within the parameters of those beliefs. Ultimately, we create our reality based on the programs that our minds developed when we were younger. But if you had a different set of rules or beliefs, you would have a different perception of the world and subsequently manifest in a completely different way. And you can alter this by changing how you observe your reality currently and using your conscious mind to do that. Following are 5 ways to begin observing your reality differently so you can begin creating a reality of your choosing. Number 1. You may already know that imagining that something has happened increases our belief that it will happen. This works in both positive and negative ways. The brain views the things that we visualize as reality. So if you've imagined something you don't like and you feel as though it may happen, consider that your perception of that event might be inaccurate based on what your brain is doing. And then begin to revise that visualization to see a more positive outcome as often as possible. When we continue to focus on and imagine things we like, the beliefs that our mind holds about those things will increase to the point that our brain seeks to make it a part of our reality. Number 2. Declare that you are not a person who experiences specific things. This may seem counterintuitive, but studies have shown that when we declare that we are not a specific type of person, we tend to embody this statement as true. Just making this type of decision about who we are helps us to stop doing the behavior that corresponds with that, because the brain will do everything it can to avoid it. The next time you find yourself experiencing something unwanted, tell yourself that you are not the type of person who experiences such things. Keep doing this each time this happens, and your brain will begin to create a new set of rules that alter your perception, and therefore what you observe about your reality. Number 3. Challenge your perceptions. Our senses gather information for us about our reality, which is actually all created from within. But even our senses can easily create some distortions. For instance, our perception of size can differ based on a number of variables. In this image, can you determine which center line is the longest? You've probably seen this before and realized they are the same size. But look how easy it is to see 2 totally different lengths. And this is just using one of our senses. So why does this happen? Our brain automatically fills in all types of information for us each second of each day, based on what it already knows, as a means of efficiency and conserving energy. It does this by screening out anything it deems as unnecessary and fitting everything into its already established set of rules and parameters. We often don't notice major details in our environment and miss information. If there's something happening in your life that you don't like, consider that you maybe don't have all of the facts because your brain has filtered them out, and then consciously seek for new information that aligns more positively about what is happening. This will assist you in shifting your perception so that you can begin to observe something new. Number 4. Put a new spin on negative thoughts and feelings. When we're not feeling particularly upbeat, we tend to expect negative experiences to happen and see ourselves and everyone else more negatively. What really happens is the brain becomes more attuned to negative events. When we're feeling more positive and optimistic, we see everyone and everything in a more positive and optimistic way for the same reason. If you find that you are not feeling especially good about yourself and your experiences, remind yourself that this is only temporary and that your perceptions are only altered because of how you are feeling in that moment. We always have the opportunity to change our views when we are feeling more upbeat. And the simple act of reminding yourself of this will begin to turn your perception and observation towards a new direction. And number 5, predict a new outcome. The brain doesn't like uncertainty, so it classifies and categorizes almost everything. It then uses experiences to associate specific cues with specific outcomes. In other words, it uses the rules it has learned from the past to make predictions about what will happen in the future, before you are even consciously aware that the prediction has even taken place. In fact, just a subtle cue such as a smell or a sound can trigger a memory that causes this to happen. So how do you fix this? By starting to consciously notice when you have made a prediction about an outcome and it's not an outcome you prefer, and then replacing that prediction with a visualization of an outcome that you would like to have instead. You can do this by checking in with how you feel about what is taking place. This type of observation takes some practice, but when you do this, you teach your brain the way you prefer for it to predict and therefore create your reality. Reality itself may actually bear no resemblance to what your brain thinks it is. Because our brains create our experience based on what it knows from the past, it will create experiences that relate to that over and over again. We simply have to consciously move outside of those established boundaries to create new things. And when we train ourselves to create new perceptions by using the tool of how we observe, we can begin to manifest a new reality of our choosing.